Joaquin Cuartas Rodriguez is considered a master and a genius of the radio literature. He is the most awarded scriptwriter in the history of the Cuban radio, and still, with more than 80 years old, he's capable of coming up with a history within seconds. Not every mind can do that. He writes in an old Olivetti electric typewriting machine, a device that, as he has requested, has to be buried with him. He is the father of a lot of characters that has become his family. With Joaquin Cuartas, we have the pleasure to talk today in From Havana. Well, Joaquin, thank you so much for receiving us here at home and the place where you create your art.
Yes, my art. You may call it that name. So some person thinks that what I do is not precisely art, but it is art.
Of course, it's art, and a really hard one to create.
No, not so hard. When you like things, it's not hard. I enjoy it. I had pleasure when I write, and that's a very important thing in your life. When you enjoy what you're doing, it's not work for me, it's pleasure.
Let's go 70 years back in time.
Oh,
Tell me
my
about your
childhood, my childhood. Well, my childhood is very much related with my mother. My mother was a special person to me. She was a teacher in Surgidero de Batabano, a fisherman village in the south of the province of Havana. And she carried me there, and there was a very, very poor people in Batabano, fishermen, sons of fishermen. And I learned there that you have to make some sacrifices in your life for the others, because you cannot be enjoying yourself in things if you don't think in others. It's very important. You're not alone. You live in a world full of people, and that people deserve that you take care of them. And that's what we're having here in Cuba now. And I write for that people, not for people with money. I write for the people in the streets. My novels are for people in the streets that have a radio. Someone has no television. They have radio, and they can listen what I'm writing over there. And I try to transport ideas to them. Family. Family is the center of everything. Without family, the world is nothing. The world is a great family, and you have to live with your family. It's your center, and from that center, you can go to places. But never forget that the family is the center of the world and of yourself.
Do you used to listen to radio with your
family? Yeah,
when
I was young, I read the novel of the air, Tamacún, Spirit, the three Villalobos. Tres eran tres, los tres Villalobos, tres eran tres y ninguno era bobo. That's in Spanish, but I listened to them, Tarzán, Tamangali, and a lot of things. I don't forget nothing of that. And I read a lot, fantasy books. I spend all my time reading. Once my mother think that I was half crazy, and she takes me to a psychiatric, and he said to her, no, he has nothing. He has a lot of imagination. He's going to be something like a writer, because with that imagination, he's going to write things, and that's happened.
But you had a really laissez-faire, to call it somewhere, racing way at home. I mean, your mom let you do whatever you wanted.
Yes.
That helped
My house was 3 meters above the floor. We lived 3 meters above the floor. That was the house of do what you want. One day, they brought me a gun of, I don't know how to say,
little bullets.
But little bullets. Yeah. And then I was practicing with a Diana. But I look at the crystals over there, and I was a little bit sad. And I said, "What happened to you, dear?" She said, "Oh, Mama, no." I said, that I want to shoot that crystals over there. And she said, "Do it. It's your pleasure." And while all the others in the house were screaming, "Don't let him do that," the crystal went away for years. She was a very special person.
So your house had your
But very hard to, because when I was studying, she told me, "You study, and and you graduate yourself. And in 15 days, you look for work, because if you don't find a work, then you're going to be dragging stones and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, hard work.
Hard work, yeah.
How do you get into this art? How do you got into
It was
scripts?
surprising for me, because what I studied, I told you, it was an accountant in English and Spanish, and shorthand typist in English and Spanish. Well, that's true.
But you wanted to be that in the beginning. That's what you
Yes,
wanted to
that's
study.
what I was working. I was working for almost 10 years. But I went to see a theater, Remembers of Tulipa, of Rivera Samuel. And then while I was seeing it, suddenly I look at that this way and say, well, but I can do that. That was, it happened, just happened. It happened like I was once writing, and this is something that I don't understand quite well until now. I was writing When Life Returns, a novel, and there was a personage, Beba Salavarria. I was writing, and then, what? Beba Salavarria. And I look at the picture, the paper, and say, but what is this? Where did she come? I don't know. Yes, she came to life without me thinking in her. She just presented herself, and it was one of the best characters in the play.
Do you remember the first time when you sit down and say, I'm going to write? That night, that afternoon, when you sit, how do you do it? How do you do it? Or what do you use to write?
It was a joke for myself. I read a play that is called The Regreso, The Comeback, about a soldier that comes back from the Korean War, and he has a lot of fights because he came with ideas that he didn't carry with him when he went to war. War has branded him. And that play, we put it in a theater, like aficionados that we were. And Dragoon, that was an Argentinian, a theater, saw it, and he called me, and he said, do you want to enter in the a course of dramaturgia that they are giving here in Cuba? And I said, well, yes. And I went there. There was a lot of people. Maite Vera, that is dead. Brene, that is dead. Brene is the one that gets me to work in the radio. Brene is the one that takes me to the radio, because I was writing, I was accident, because one day here in Cuba, in the years of 65, they said that accountants were not necessary. Yes, they say so. And they were looking for other works. I was cleaning floors. I was making flowers of paper. I was with cutting cane, no, crops of cane, and he calls me and he tells me that in Radio Progreso they need a writer. I went there, and that's how all began.
I understand that
in '67.
At that time, you met Felix Cañet at some point.
Yeah, I
How
met
important
him.
he was in your career?
No. Felix Cañet was a god, more than a god. Because you can be a god, but you can be a god and not a good person. He was a good person. He was a fine man. One of the finest men I had ever, well, the best. He was gentle. He stayed in Cuba. He didn't leave Cuba. He had $10 million in Mexico, and he didn't go there looking for them, and they stole the money from him. And he stayed here all the time. Felix Cañet was a musician also. He had very good compositions in music. Frutas del Caney, for example. Te odio, and still I love you. I hate you, but I still love you. and he has the magic. He was a magic man, a very truthful person. He's one person that I can. For Felipe Cañé, I keep my hand and make a bow because he deserved it.
Do you have a process to write?
No.
So the ideas come to your mind and you just...
Yeah, because first of all, when you began writing, there is a thing called officio. When you have that magic word officio, you can do a lot of things. You don't need even to, I don't think the voices are in my head. The characters talk to me and then I write what they say. That's the way I wrote. I don't think, I create them and then I leave them and they do what they want inside this. It's like a computer.
But a really fast one because you
Yes,
need to be really...
It's a fast one, yes, it is.
How does it work? Do they call you and tell you, you have to adapt this novel?
They call me, they say, well, we have a novel, for example. They brought me the red and the black, El Rojo y el Negro de Stendhal, from Stendhal.
You struggled with that one. You struggled with that one. You said you have a bad time with that novel, writing it.
Yeah, because it's a Stendhal and I like to do things like I do. Yeah. It's very difficult to take your shirt and put in me because it don't let me move. And that is the thing. And then, but I do it.
Do you like to stay faithful to the norm of writing a script, or you like to get out of the box, things out of the box, and make your own, how to say?
Yes, I like to get out of the box. That's right. I'm the rabbit that get out of the hat.
But you never had problems because of that?
Well, they are afraid because I say things that some persons don't like it at all.
Yeah, that's common. The other thing I want to know is, do you only adapt novels, or
No, I adapt novels. I write my novels. I write short stories. I write theater. I write adventures.
But you only write for radio?
For radio.
But you've won the Tirso Molina in Spain, and you...
Theater.
You also wrote, but theater like a play?
Yeah, theater like theater. I had a mention in 1965 in the House of America of Llegó a la gloria la gente de los santos inocentes.
And what do you prefer, radio, theater, television? You've wrote for television?
No.
Never?
Never.
And why radio and not television? Explain me that.
Because in radio, the script that I do gets that way. In television, there are assessores. They check what I wrote and they change. They call you, change this, change that, because that is that way. In radio, they don't change nothing. And the director is the one that do with your script what he wants. And you have to accept it. That's the way it goes.
Let's talk about something that is maybe the soul of a play, the characters. How do you get to the characters? How do you create the characters?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Well, the good, the bad, the not so good, the not so bad, the child, the religious. You got the world. You take the ideas of what you know, people that you know, what you have read. There's nothing new under the sun. That all is recreations. The ones that do everything were the Greeks. Yeah. From the Greeks to now.
It's true.
It's true.
Do you have any recurrent character? One you use in every play?
Beba Salavarria, the one that chose me without knowing her, because he's very funny. She's terrible. Beba is terrible. Beba is...
That's your favorite one?
Yes, but the things that she said are very, very... they make me laugh. That she said, I don't say it. She makes me laugh.
Do you prefer drama or comedy?
You mix both.
You always mix it.
Yeah, yeah. You cannot put the things very high in drama. You have to break it. You have to break it because you can't go that way all the time. You break it and the novels, when you make a novel in radio, you can, for example, Lo que no se perdona, what cannot be pardoned, have 333 chapters. A very long novel. But for example, in Spain, there is a novel that is Acacia 38 in television that goes from the chapter 985.
When you are writing and when you're creating the characters, in your mind you have a certain actress or actor already placed for that?
Once upon a time, that was the way the radio was going to be. That was the radio was being, no? But they changed it. For example, every radio station has its group of actors. The radio was in the morning from 8 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon. The television begins in 2 in the afternoon till the night. What happened? They make a group and they take the actors of every radio station and make them the united in a kind of corporation or something like that. Well, when I was writing in the first time, I know that Aurora Pita, Espasande, Miriam Mier, was the voices that I write. And another thing, in that time, you write the novel, you write the script that is going to be recorded in 2 days. And if you went to the streets and you hear what the people say about the novel, and they like this character or this other character, and you write in accordance to that, that was the radio that our dear Cañé did in his novels. Yes, well. But they changed that, and now you have to write the novel complete, and they put the actors that they want inside of it. And it's not the same thing, because I don't hear the voices anymore.
What do you think? Why do you think that is happening? Why do you think the formula or the way to do the radio melodrama changed? I mean, I believe that it's better the way that I write today what is gonna be recorded tomorrow, because I can flow with the.
That's the way.
But why do you think they changed that for commodity or what?
Voy a decir en español. La imbecilidad es la manifestación más ingenua de la maldad, porque el malvado se mide, el imbécil no. And we are full of not-minded people. They lose the magic of the radio when they do that. When they change the patterns that were established by the other radio, by the old one, by the capitalist one, that they know what they were doing.
Well, still in the world, the sitcom for television, they write the script. They know that they have 20 chapters, but they don't write the 20 chapters on one hit. They write it every week, and if it doesn't work, they cancel the show. That's how it works.
That is outside.
Yeah, outside.
Not here.
In other countries.
Don't tell me this. I'm living here, not outside.
In that line, what's the difference you can see between the melodramas of today and the melodramas, let's say, 20, 30 years ago?
In radio?
Yeah, in radio.
Well, what I'm going to decide, be young again for what? I'm not going to dance the way the youth are dancing now. I'm not going to put things in my nose because that's not the way the world that I live. You live in a time, and that's your time. You cannot go to other. What I want, well, yes, I want something that my my work, that my family be happy and have health, principally health. That's what I want.
I'm sure it's gonna be that way because life is a script, I think.
No, life is surprising. You cannot love really. You have 30 years, no?
I have 30 years.
Well, when you go to my grave and carry me some flowers, you have my age. Please tell me if you think that way today, like you think today, because time marches on and marks you in a lot of things. But the principal one is, did I harm someone? No. Did I lose something? Always we lose something. Want something new at my age? Really no. Then what do you want, Joaquin? Right. Because I'm not alone. I have them all with me. All my characters are with me. All the ones that I have created in my novels are with me. They came, and I'm sure that the day that I'm dying, they are going to take me away and say, well, Joaquin, here we are, let's go. They're going to carry me. Me vas a la barriga seguro. Sugar is going to be there and say, well, come on, my baby.
Well, thank you so much for this opportunity to talk with you, to know you and your characters.
No, I
pleasure.
want just to say something more. I have a great luck to be born in this island, in this historic time, because maybe if this historic time wasn't here, I'd never be a writer. But I told you, life is full of doors. Once takes door that get them away, I get the door that stay me here.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you to you.